Okay, happy Sunday, everybody. I know a lot of people have been showing their kitties. This is my Timmy. He is not happy being held. He's 16. We had him sheared at Christmas, so his hair's kind of funny, but he's my big boy. Yes, you're a good kitty. Okay, yeah, show him how sweet you are. Oh, look at that face. He's so cute. Okay, get down. Sorry, I had to run through the house to catch him. The other kitty is hiding. Happy Sunday! We're all finally getting over colds again. And, of course, our 6-year-old Abby, fever Friday night. She's had drainage. Fever Friday night, woke up yesterday morning, 101, snotty head. So she had to miss a school birthday party. She was very sad to miss. I was kind of glad to not have to go because it was a pool party. But anyway, that's that. I felt bad. I wanted to do the tags that are running around. Adele's and Kate's, the Fer Realz and the Pearl. So, here we go. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so from Adele's, number 1 is Fer Realz though. What level of stitcher do you consider yourself to be? I'm gonna say intermediate. I could almost say advanced if it's just plain cross stitch, but when it comes to chatelaines, all the specialty stitches, I'm not real keen or real good at them, so I'm gonna say intermediate. I've been stitching for 20 years though. Number 2, Fer Realz though, how many whips and UFOs do you honestly have? This includes things you gave up on and threw out. Current whips, I believe I have 9. UFOs, 4. And then there's one I have a little story about, and I'll tell you about in a minute though, because it kind of works on the, yeah. No, I'll tell you now. Okay, so I had worked on a Paula Vaughn, one of her quilts of all seasons. It was the April one, I believe. It has butterflies on the quilt. I was 3/4 of the way done. And then I had Abby. And, you know, if you have kids, your life kind of goes haywire once you have a baby. It got put into a drawer, sorry, cat hair now, in our coffee table. It had pull-out drawers. So I had set it down in there with the threads and the chart, and it was not in a bag. It was not in any sort of protected, but it was in the drawer in a wooden, you know, I assumed it was fine. I go look at it like a 1.5 years later, thinking, maybe I ought to start doing that again. Apparently pop, coffee, or tea had been spilt at some point and had somehow gotten down into the drawer and on the fabric, like a nice chunk of it right in the stitching that would not be covered up. And this, I was doing it on, I want to say an off-white or antique white, even weave. So it was very plain, and it was a very clear color change. And in my anger at it getting messed up, and I didn't know when it had happened, what it was on it, I just threw it away. And now I'm mad at myself for doing that, because I think, you know, I could have at least tried to rinse it, but I just chucked it, threw it out. That was that. Now I wish I hadn't, because I don't want to stitch it again, but I still really liked it. So, there's that. Number 3, Fer Realz though, are you enabled easily? Yes and no. If it's something I really like, then I might look for the chart or put it on my wish list on 1-2-3 Stitch. But rarely, I'm not enabled by needle minders, fabrics typically, or kits. But like Megan Maymay had, it was about 1 year ago, she showed in a magazine a chart of a tree with real pretty, different colored, bright colored leaves. And she showed what magazine it was from, and she was working on it. I think she's almost done or has finished now. And I got on eBay and I ordered it. And I have the magazine up in my to-do pile because I really like that chart. That is the one time that I can say, oh, I love that, I need to do it, that I went out and ordered it right then. But the more I'm seeing up close memorabilias that other people are doing, you know, now that we're able to show and see up close, look at the beadwork, look at the stitching on this and the metallic floss, it's making me want to do those patterns more because they're so pretty. But one moment, I gotta let the cat out of the room. He's having a fit. Okay, come on. Come on, Timmy. Out. Go on. Bye. Okay. Sorry. I have to keep the door shut because our dryer there's something off in it and the drum is rubbing, and so you're hearing this screechy, screechy, screech, which you may hear anyway, and I apologize if you hear that because it's just, but it's been doing it for a while. And we replaced our toilets this past week. That was fun. But it is nice having toilets that flush the moment you just tap the handle. So, dryer later. Okay, number 4. For reals though, do you suffer from SAD, Stitcher's Attention Deficit Disorder? Kind of. And I would say the way that I'm affected is I will be stitching and watching YouTube videos and get distracted. And then I'll stop stitching and just watch the video. Or I should check Facebook and see what's going on and, you know, whatever, or the TV. So I can get distracted by other things. But if I'm working on a project and I'm really focused on it, I don't tend to put it down as far as trading it off for another one too quickly. Number 5, have you ever finished a full coverage project ahead? No, I haven't. And this says, if your answer was no, how far have you got? I did 100 stitches. I don't remember what the chart is called. It was it has all the nursery rhyme characters. I think it was all the nursery rhyme characters, kind of in an outside setting. And I did 100 stitches, and I want to say it was like $8.98. It was like a dark blue, and that was it. That's all I've done. That one over the little over one, and no, it's just not for me. More power to you. Those of you that can stick to them and do them, it's too much. Number 6, for reals though, do you enjoy confetti? Lots of stitches in different colors. Number 7, for reals though, how many finishes do you have this year so far? And how does this compare to your WIP UFO number from question 2? I've done a couple things this year. They've been smaller though. Finished the coffee Lizzie Kate chart last week or week before. I've done some round robin things for Clouds Factory round robin I'm in. I mean, they're little finishes, but they're finishes. So 2 or 3 of my own this year, and they've all been small. I'm almost done with the ABCs of parenting. I have like this much left to do. Now I'm concerned I'm going to run out of the main color blue that it came with. It came with like 5 skeins of it, I think. Like quite a few. And I'm like stretching my thread now to finish each stitch, and I have a blue that's it's a gassed thread that's similar enough that it should pass as it or not look odd, but I'm trying to not use it if I can help it. So I'm kind of irritated by that, but I'm using a 28 count even weave, and I believe it called for a 32 count, and I'm thinking by not taking that into I didn't think about that size difference possibly being a thread issue. Which it could just be I need more thread. But, you know, I'm not going to call Lizzie Kate and say, hey, send me thread. I'm just going to do it. Oh, and how does this compare to your whip UFO number from question 2? Well, I don't think I've finished any of my whips this year. I think everything I have finished have been new starts. In my UFOs, I have some that are... One is from 2003. It's a Dimensions Gold kit of a cottage. I started it before we got married. There is a Lizzie Kate, Brown Bear, Winter Crossing, something like that. And there's a couple out of magazines that I haven't finished. And I just don't want to finish them. Number 8, for reals though, are you bothered by your answer in the last question? No. Would you rather have a smaller or larger number? Well, I'd rather have finished a larger project at this point. I keep saying I'm going to work on Stargazer. I'm going to work on Stargazer. And she's just slow. She's just so big. It just takes forever. And I want to get on Raven Queen. And I want to do all the other 10 I have lined up. So, you know. Number 9. For reals though, do you have any dirty little stitchy secrets? Well, I told you the one. I threw out a Paula Vaughn that I had worked on for months. I had actually, and I remember doing this, I had watched the entire series of Charmed while on DVD from Netflix or Blockbuster when I was working on that. And that was like 2007, I think, is when I was working it. Because I can remember watching Charmed and stitching on those butterflies. So, it's kind of funny. I never got into Charmed until, you know, years after it started. And I think it had finished by the time I started watching. It was a fun show. Any other dirty little stitchy secrets? I stitch backwards from everybody else. A lot of people stitch, you know. Is this looking backwards to you? But I stitch the other way. That makes sense. Like my top leg goes the other direction. So when I'm doing the round robins, I have to really pay attention. And I caught myself on this most recent one, like 3 different places. I would be 4 or 5 stitches in and realize I'm backwards. So I don't think that's really a dirty little stitchy secret, but... And number 10, for reals though, I dare you to show me your messiest back. Okay. So I don't have many larger or mid-size finishes that aren't framed and put away. And my Lizzie Kate one is pretty simple, so the back isn't messy. So, but I did find a couple that I did a good 10 years ago. I thought I could show you the backs of them. Because I think I may have improved some. This was one out of like the Cross Stitch Crazy magazine or something. I thought it was cute, so I stitched it. And here's the back. It's not horrible, but it could be better. You can see I like to take my threads way across. But... And then this one was one of the Margaret Sherry's, also in a magazine. I'd had it framed in a hoop in our bedroom, and then the hoop popped off. And then there's the back of it. And I think it's the back stitching on this that makes the back so difficult. Because there's a lot of back stitching in her. They're so cute. Okay. And then... So that is Adele's. And then... The Queen of Kate, the Queen of Starts, the Pearl Tag. Number 1, what irritates you the most about cross stitch in general? That it takes so long. You know, I scrapbook and it goes fast. I sew and you have a purse in several hours. I start a Mirabilia and it takes you 6 months. Number 2, what designer irritates you the most and why? Okay, I think my answer is going to be about the same as anyone. I don't think there's a designer that irritates me. And I don't think there's really a style that irritates me. There's some I just don't do. Like the subversive cross stitch. I think they're kind of funny, but they're not something I would ever stitch because I have little kids in the house. You know, I'm not going to stitch that and, you know, hang it up in the hallway. So, Number 3, what stitch irritates you and why? Lazy daisies and couching, which I had to do a lot of couching on this one. It's so annoying. You need like a third hand to do those. You really do. Number 4, what irritates you about non-stitchers? They don't realize how much time and energy you put into a project. They just think it's, done, and it's, it's not. And 5, what irritates you about other stitchers? I don't know. Tattletales, I guess. I don't know. There have been a lot of people in the last year jumping up, jumping up and pointing things out to designers that, I don't think this is right, and I don't like what they're doing to your project, and then person's having to justify or explain what's going on, and it just becomes a big old mess, and you all know what I'm talking about, and that's uncalled for. We're all adults, or teenagers and adults. Grow up. Worry about yourself, don't worry about other people. So, I think that's all I got for you. Yeah, I think that was the end of the tag. Thanks for the tags, guys. We haven't had good tags in a while. It seemed like a year ago there were tags everywhere, and we had a drop-off of tags. So, yeah. So, I've been watching the tag videos all morning, and, Stephanie Lindy Stitches had her laser beam cat, and I've got my Angry Birds t-shirt on today, and, the girls always get a kick out of it, so what can you do? Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all hopefully soon with an update, and hopefully I'll have that ABCs of Stitching by Lizzie Kate finished. So, bye!